I am recording this video on February 22nd, 2024. I see this headline: Odysseus spacecraft attempts historic moon landing today. This brought up some memories. The strongest synchronicities I've ever experienced connected with the Odyssey and the date 2/2/22. Now, 2 years later, I see Odysseus is news on February 22nd. Now, I'm not going to go over the whole story. I'll leave 2 links in the description box for these 2 videos I did talking about these strong synchronicities. February 2nd of the year 2022 was a very sad day for me. Someone very dear to me died. His name was Tom. Since then, I've had a lot of synchronicities that have caught my attention, so I need to revisit this again. Either of those 2 videos, if you skip to the 2:22 mark, you're going to see an image of the front page of the Boston Herald the day before my friend Tom died. You can see it says Space Oddity, which is clearly a reference to the David Bowie song, but also that's a reference to Space Odyssey. It's about Major Tom. It's an astronaut. And there's a flight theme, and also 222 and 222, all connected. Like I said, links in the description. This is just after Tom Brady retired for the first time. My friend Tom, who died that day, his grandson texted me the day before, talking about Our Lady Peace putting out a new album called Spiritual Machines 2. He said he had mixed feelings. It reminded him of David Bowie, just like that newspaper reminded me of David Bowie, Space Oddity. And you can see here I have an image saying Catch 22. That's a reference to the movie Catch 22. That's there because Art Garfunkel was in that movie. Simon and Garfunkel used to play under the name Tom and Jerry. Garfunkel was Tom. Garfunkel, aka Tom, left the studio, abandoned Paul Simon to go be in this movie, Catch 22. It was a movie about World War II. He was a pilot. Again, there's an air theme, flight. Just like the astronauts to the moon. Paul Simon wrote that song, The Only Living Boy in New York, and it starts off like this: Tom, get your plane ride on time. And that's the song that was in my head when I heard the news of my dear friend Tom who died. Again, it was on 2/2/22. I saw this newspaper, a tribute to Tom Brady, a farewell. Thanks, Tom, because he was retiring that first time. And just as a reminder, Tom comes from Thomas, which means twin, representing 2. Tom Brady retired twice. I believe it was the same date. Groundhog's Day, if I'm not mistaken. And talking about Major Tom from that David Bowie song, Space Oddity. It's, what was that? Tim Tebow? Tebow? Sorry. He's playing against Tom Brady, and he's praying to Jesus. And Jesus replied, Brady's too good, and I've got better things to do. And it was on that day, February 2nd, 2022, that I was going to talk to my brother about the death, and he brings up this app called Randonautica, which helps to generate coincidences. Look when that initial launch date was. Twos all across the board. I mean, there was some zeros in there, but yeah, twos. And speaking of the twos, Alpha's season 2 ended with that song, The Only Living Boy in New York. The very end of it, and it's 2 seasons long. And it was set in Grand Central Terminal, which initially opened to the public for the first time on February 2nd. And then there's this synchronistic movie called 222. Had to do with airplanes. An airplane. And the time 222. And a tragic event that was supposed to happen in Grand Central Terminal. And someone reminded me that on top of the entrance, above the entrance to Grand Central Terminal, is a statue of Mercury. And Mercury is associated with Hermes, going back to the Odyssey, bringing us right back to Odysseus. So again, the strongest synchronicities I've ever experienced, connected with the Odyssey and the date 2/2/22. And now 2 years later, I see Odyssey is news on 2/22.